Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I hope you're doing well. This week's Parsha is a Bible portion. So we're in the book of Numbers, Bamidbar, in the desert in Hebrew, but the English one is Numbers because there's a census in it. And it's the Parshiot of Matot-Masei. So these are two separate portions, but a lot of cool things happen in these Parshiot. So last week we learned about Banot-Tzlofchad, the girls who didn't have any brothers and wanted to make sure that the land that was owed to their family would go to them instead of any long lost male relatives because they were women. And Moshe in last week's parsha said, or 2 weeks ago in the parsha said, yes, you can have it. And so Banot-Tzlofchad got their land. In this week's parsha, the tribe that Banot-Tzlofchad is from, the tribe of Menashe, shows up again. So the reason that we mentioned that Banot-Tzlofchad are from the tribe of Menashe is because Menashe was the son of Joseph. Joseph, of course, who was Jacob's favorite son. Joseph, who was in Egypt, and Joseph, who was really connected to the land of Israel, so much so that he had his bones moved to be buried in the land of Israel. And so the tribe of Menashe, the sons of Joseph, are known for being very connected to the land of Israel. And it was important to Banot-Tzlofchad, the daughters that wanted to make sure the land stayed in their family, that they would stay with the land that was meant for Shevet Menashe, the tribe of Menashe. And so that's why it was important for them to ask for this land. So in this week's parsha, the Shevet Menashe shows up again because Gad and Reuven, the tribes of Gad and Reuven, ask to stay out of Israel. We're about to enter the land of Israel. We're nearing the end of the book of Bamidbar. We're about to get to the final book of the Torah, Deuteronomy, Devarim. And Shevet Gad and Shevet Reuven say, we have a lot of livestock. We'd like to stay on the other side of the Jordan River in what's modern-day Jordan in Moab. We'd like to stay there instead of coming into the land of Israel. Can we do that? And Moshe's originally he gets very angry. He thinks they're trying to avoid what's going to happen when the Jews have to enter the land of Israel, because there's going to be conflict with them returning to their ancestral homeland. And originally Moshe's angry, but then he says, okay, fine, you can stay over in Moab, but you have to come and fight with your brothers. And when you go back to live on the other side of the Jordan River, you have to take Chatzi of the tribe of Menashe, half of the tribe of Menashe with you. Okay, so we've just said that the tribe of Menashe are super connected to the land of Israel. They're, Banot-Tzlofchad is from them. So why do we think that Chatzi Menashe is being asked to stay out of the land of Israel? Firstly, because they're so connected to the land of Israel, and though they won't be able to be in the land of Israel, they'll be really good representatives. They'll be really good influences on the tribes of Gad and Reuven. And what we're seeing here is the first instance of diaspora, that, every Jew that's exists in the desert right now. All the Jews who were at Mount Sinai, they were all in the desert. These are all the Jews that are there. So the first diaspora community outside of the land of Israel will be the tribes of Gad and Reuven. And basically what we see from what Moshe does with requiring the tribe of Menashe to be with Gad and Reuven, and also requiring them to fight, is making them feel a sense of accountability, a sense of connection to responsibility to their people who are in the land of Israel, and then also to have someone with a good influence to be intentional and talk about the land of Israel and love the land of Israel from out of the land of Israel, to influence the tribes of Gad and Reuven. So what we learn from this is that, yes, you can live outside of the land of Israel. Of course, it's ideal that everyone should live in Israel. But if you are going to live outside of the land of Israel, if you're going to live in Galut, in the diaspora, you have to be intentional about what you're doing, who you're around, what you're spending your time doing. And it's interesting because, we're about to enter the land of Israel. This is the story that we're getting, this is part of the story that we're getting to. But we're being introduced to the first diaspora community because once we're in the land of Israel, anyone outside of the land of Israel is in the diaspora, a community outside of Israel. So we just have to be reminded that as people living outside of the land of Israel, in Galut, in the diaspora, that we have to be really intentional. And all of you are being intentional by being on shul right now, by going to synagogue, by celebrating the holidays, by eating challah on Friday nights, or any way that you connect to being Jewish, that you have to be intentional about what you're doing. Because if not, you'll unfortunately, we've seen what happens when communities aren't connected. So Shabbat Shalom, everyone. God willing, I will see you all next week.